We are back with another episode of creating a village simulator. Thanks for joining me on this adventure as I try to make this game. It's been fun. I'm really enjoying this. I like how sometimes things work. They don't work. Oh well, we try to fix it. The game, has some potential here to be pretty fun and interesting, and so yeah. But one of the issues I am running into is an FPS issue and a major drop in the simulation. So right now I have spawned in 500 agents, and if I click gather, you'll see kind of these little hiccups. Alright, little hiccups here and there. And what I've actually done, I actually turned off kind of the creating a plan for the GOAT system, the goal-oriented action plan system. I actually turned that off, and now what I put in for the AI was this. Here, I'll just I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, but basically each agent, or not each agent, whoops, I didn't want to open up the script. Each goal has a list of actions it can do. Don't need that inspector there. Let me go to the prefabs and click on the test agent. And you probably can't see it, but under a goal, I had this AI action plans, and we have a list, and the list has a list of actions. So this is basically pre-creating all these plans. So for example, this is a build goal. The build goal has one action. You just build a building. So it searches for a building and builds it. Let's see, is this take resource? Alright, so the take resource to blueprint has one type of action it can do, but this has two actions in this one action plan. Take resource from a storage house, and then take resource to the blueprint. In the try and find one that has more than one action plan. Take resource from ground. No, I don't see anything. Is this an action? That's not even a goal. These are goals. Go to work. Anyways, yeah, I guess I don't have anything that really has more than one kind of action plan. Even in our gather goal, just does one thing. So even after doing that, if I could click play, because I thought, hey, if it doesn't try to do this recursion and try to find optimal different kinds of plans by recursion, it'd be quicker. And it actually is, but it still stutters. And it stutters. I mean, obviously I have 500 agents here, but I do kind of want to get my game to have that many. So okay, let me go to my map manager. And let me just change it to 100 and see what it does. Now, so basically what I've decided to do, and it's kind of a bummer, but I guess it's just part of programming, is we're not going to use the scope system at all for our agents. You can see it's not as bad. It's better than what it was last time, but still it's not that great. We still get stutterings, and if I do, let's see, do fast, you just get a little stuttering. But again, if I want to get 500, which you can see I can do 500, it's just that there's this slight bit of stuttering, and here's why. Every agent is looking through their goals, so they're doing some kind of, you know, loops with goals, and then with the goals, when they check their validation, they're then again looping through, you know, looking for a resource on the ground, looking for buildings, doing all kinds of different things. So, and you have 500 of them doing it all kind of at the same time. So what I did was I kind of looked at some other games and kind of like see if I could figure out how are they managing, you know, more things. And yeah, I know Unity has a job system. Like if I don't know if you can see this on the screen, but there's this job system, and they have a data oriented, what's the T for? Technology maybe? I don't know. It's called the dot system, which uses entities. That has not been released yet. And obviously I would have to learn about it and figure out how to do all that. That seems like a neat idea. And probably I could use it now, and it would still work in the future, to where we could do like multi-threading. I mean, but anyways, looking at some other games and kind of figuring out, well, how are things being done. Here's what I think I should do instead. I think the agents, as far as like doing jobs and going and doing things and finding resources, agents shouldn't do that anymore. An agent shouldn't have to search for a tree to chop down. Agents shouldn't have to search for a piece of wood to pick up. When I first started making this video, I was doing something called a task, and tasks were being created, and then the AI would just find the first task. What I want to do is have a task manager where, you know, when I click on a tree, it creates a job, and then the job, instead of agents looking for a job to do, the job will find an agent instead. So instead of having 500, I don't know why I keep stopping and playing it. So instead of having like 500 agents looking for something to do, this one job here, if I click on it, would be the only thing that would look for something. If I have, and actually you can do it like this as well to make it kind of optimized. Only one job at a time will search for an agent. So another job won't get started until that first job has been taken care of. So that's kind of my goal now with making it this more optimized, and it should be, because again we'll only have one job that tries to find an agent to get to. Now the agent will still have other things that we'll need to do, such as when it recognizes that it's hungry, but again, what we could do is, like, if you're hungry, create a job, create like I kind of want to, I don't know, maybe I need to go to that. I used to have a task manager. Let's see. Basically what I want to do is just have like a task system. Like all this will probably get deleted and change, and I'll rework all of this stuff. But basically, like if the character was hungry, they, instead of searching for food, it would just create a job, and then that job's responsibility is to find that agent a food. But it won't all happen at the same time, maybe. And I could have like two different, if let me just type in here. So, and these might be queues. So it puts like a queue. I spell queue. I don't even know. Whatever. Anyways, you know what I'm talking about. A queue, and you would maybe a queue of gather. I don't know. I kind of don't want too many. Anyways, just a queue of jobs or tasks. We'll call them tasks, because a job is some place where they work. I mean, when I say work, I mean like they're actually like going to the farm and they're working, or going to the blacksmith and they're workers. So a queue of tasks, and then we might have also a queue of AI request task. And so what's the difference is that this one is the user's creating those jobs, and then they'll start going through each job and slowly, and what I mean slowly, like not super slow, but it will go through one at a time and try to find an agent to be able to work on that job. If it can't, it would then send it to the bottom of the queue and maybe give a warning. So the task would I'll just type it in here. Task will, because I think I'm going to do a lot of this programming off camera. Maybe, I don't know. So I just don't know if you guys want to watch me putting this together. Because it's kind of, you've already watched some of this before, and I just feel like these episodes are just repeating themselves. But maybe I'll just record it, whatever. Does it? If you don't want to watch, you can always skip it, right? So task will, let's see. I got a little bit of a sniffles right now. Sorry about that. Task will find a villager. They will, if resources are needed, find a resource. So when you do and so I'll have to say again, I have to like redo probably all of the actions. I still like the way that the AI is running, as far as all their actions are separate. It has that finite state of move or idle, move, and work. So I think I'm still going to keep that, but the difference is the agent isn't going to have goals anymore. We're going to get rid of that, and the agent won't really do anything. The only thing that the agent might do is say, hey, I'm going to create my own task. So the user can create task, and then the agent itself could create a task. And then the task manager will take care of that. So right now we can have a queue of task that from user, and then we also have a queue for AI request task. And the reason why I'm doing that is that sorry, lost my train of thought. The only reason why I'm doing that is, let's say there are 100 tasks that the user has created, 100 tasks that the user has created, and one agent here is hungry. He's idle, he's hungry, and he puts it in the queue. If he puts in this task, in the user task, you know, he's going to have to wait for 100 jobs to be assigned or go through before his request will be made. And if all the AI agents are requesting to eat, then it might be a while. I'll probably also do it where the agent can't must complete a job first, a task that's been assigned to first before sending a request. So it basically needs to be in an idle state, and that's what I'm thinking. So yeah, let me just these tasks will be, you know, eating, sleeping, attacking maybe. So yeah, the AI will no longer really figure things out. So we are going to need to do a lot of reworking. I'm going to just start deleting this stuff because I'm going to get tons of errors. I'm going to get rid of all this. So yeah, just delete all that. Okay, so we no longer have that, and we got to figure out how we're going to do this. Maybe I'll start a little bit now. Let me just delete that and just delete all this. Maybe not. And one of the things we can do too is on our slowest speed, maybe we don't update this task. I mean, this is going to kind of save a lot of frames, huh? This should help out quite a bit, because we're not going to, you know, every agent had all these different actions, and the actions, you know, like all of them were searching, you know, where's one that's pretty good? You know, this right here. So the question is, how can I use this right here with our task system? All right, well, let's go back to the task system. Let's say the first thing, here, let me, let's see, was this using the links? Let's go to my AI planner. I know I have a, where is my AI planner? It is, nope, right here, right here. So yeah, it is kind of a bump, like, because you guys have been watching this, and I don't know if you're learning anything from these things, or maybe learning how not to do things. I'm not saying like the goal-oriented action plan AI system isn't a bad system, and maybe the way I'm doing it isn't very good or optimized, but I just think for this game, with how many we have, with how many agents we have, it doesn't work as well. And I do think I watched a video once on, I guess they did this kind of system with, what is it, the Middle Earth game. And I think one of the things they mentioned in there that, hey, only this really works if you only have like 50 orcs using it at a time. So because every time you add another agent, every time you add another action, it just multiplies that the algorithm. All right, what was I doing? I was just trying to see what. Yeah, okay, system links. So let's go here. We got that, and so we're gonna have a queue of task, and we'll call it how do we want to do this? Let's just call it the user task. I guess we'll just do that, and then let me just put this up here, and then we're gonna have another one, and this is how you spell queue, by the way. We're going to do another one right here, and we'll call this agent task. All right, so this task manager is going to handle all of the AI decisions, which again, it'll make things go quicker. Now the agent's still going to have to move on its own and do those things, and if it's in an idle state, maybe that's when it wanders around. If it needs to go and have a break, it'll go do that. So let's load up the script for our task. Where am I going to find that? So yeah, this really changes a lot of things, but I think I can still reuse some of the things. Here we go. All right, so I'm just going to delete all this. Just delete it all. I know. Because the actions handle the work on task thing. So the agents still, they handle that stuff on their own. This is just for creating a task. We're going to have a AI agent. A resource, and maybe this could just be a game object. Resource, if it needs a resource to gather. What else does it need? I'm not too sure at this point. Because what we can do is assign this task to, well, what it could have is public. I created this script called AI action plan, and so what is I action plan? We'll call it the action plan. And let me just show you what that looks like. Action plan. So basically, it's just a list of AI actions. And so, we could have on our task. Sorry, I'm just thinking. A list of these. All right. Just in case if there's multiple ways to satisfy a task. So for example, eating. You could either eat by taking something from the ground and just eat it. You could go and take it from the storage house and just eat it, or you can take it from the storage house and go to your house to eat. Sorry, I'm just trying to think how I want to do this. Because see, now instead of the AI figuring out the actions, I have to pre-plan all of those for the agent, which is fine. You know, these agents, you know, with how many we have, and it really yeah, this is no big deal, because some of our actions that we're doing, our action plans, are really simple. They're not really that complicated, you know. Because these are very, very, very finite kind of agents. But what makes it, I think I mentioned this before, what makes them feel like the AI is more robust is that we have the kind of sense that it is. We add flavor to all of it by having all of these different stats for our character, and you see them, you're like, ooh, look, they're really, you know, doing, like, when you really think about like the Sims, the AI for the Sims, it's really not that complicated. Just they seem like complicated AI, but it's really isn't. You know, they just have this need system, and whenever something is needed, it just does it. It tries to find an object that can satisfy that need, and that's all it really. I think that's all it really does. And so this will kind of do a little bit of that, but plus the user is going to have some control over that too. All right. Anyways, I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to babble for, because I'm not really. I don't have this really completely planned out. So what we're going to need to do is I have to have like this class might be an abstract class, and then we create the task. So we're going to have a kind of like our goals. We're going to have a building task. We're going to have a take resources to blueprint task. That kind of thing. So this might be an abstract class, and then we create different tasks. It could also be, and I haven't really done this much. In this game I haven't done it much, but I have used it quite a bit. using the creating this as a serializable, is that what's called, or scriptable? A scriptable object. Now, some people like these, some people don't. But we might need to, it might make it a little bit easier. Actually, I don't. I'm just trying to think a little bit. All right, I think what I'm thinking is, how do I fill this with the actions? Let's say this was a scriptable object and we created a new scriptable object called build a building. Let's say it was build a building. How do I add these in the inspector? Because we will not have, we can't do it from a prefab. This needs to be created dynamically. So maybe instead of a list of actions, we have a list of these action plans will actually be strings instead. Okay. So then, I'm surprised there should be there's going to be errors in my game right now. So now we have a list of strings. So now I can just type in the action name that I want to use instead of dragging it, and then the AI agent would be given a list of actions based on that. Let's go with that for now. Now what I could do, if instead of using like a scriptable object, I could also just leave it like that and then create I just create them as another script, and then inside the script, when they are loaded up, I just type in all these. So maybe I'll do that instead. All right, so let's just leave that for now. Here, let's create our first task, and we'll always start with the gather resource. I might use another word for that. I've been using it this whole time, so maybe I won't change it. Let's go to let's see, scripts. We're going to create a new folder. We're going to call it task. Let's put that one there. Let's create a new task. We're going to call it the gather task. Is that what we really want to call it? I hate calling it that. See, look, mining and chopping down a tree are the same thing. You're just getting different resource and using different stats. It's literally the same type of thing. Your agent stands in front of it, does some kind of animation, and then it gets destroyed and you get a resource from it. So those are basically, let's just leave it. I've been using it this whole time. I'm going to delete all this. I'm going to call this task. Oops. So it's a task. see. Oh my god, come on. So when we'll do a public gather task. Gather task. Right now, let's not send it anything. And what this will do is it'll set up the actions. So the gather task, we will say AI action plan. Let's see, what did I call it? Oh, what happened? I gotta load that back up. Alright, it's just called action plan. Let's call it action plans. So here we're going to say AI action. I didn't make them public. I did make it public. And let's just new AI action plan. Why don't I have access to this? Task. Why can't it do I have to say base action plans, really? Well, maybe because it's in here. Let me just see. Public void set action plans. Just see if this. Yeah. So because I'm doing it in here, we'll just do this then. Set action plans. And what we could do is in our task here, we can make this abstract. Abstract class, then we do a public virtual void set up action plan. And then we go here and we say override set action plan. And set up action plan. Let's make this plural. Alright, so I'm just kind of getting a little bit here and there. I don't know why it's doing that. We don't need that. Action plans. Alright, so for the gather one, we're going to say AI action plan. AI, or I just call it action plans. Action plans dot add a new AI action plan. Okay, now we're going to say AI action plans 0 dot AI actions dot add dot add, and we're going to add the let me see our actions here. We're going to say gather resource, and we got to spell it correctly. And that's it for now. That's all it does. So then it'll be able to find this action, and when we create our action plan for our agent, it will just set this in the first queue. And then we're also going to create the way for it to set the target for this as well. So yeah, that's all we need for that. So the question is, so we're no longer using like that world stuff. We're not going to do that. You have a public void find agent for task. So how is this going to work? Well, I think the task needs to know where its location is. So we might have a public int public vector2 location, and then come on, a public void public int map section ID. So, and we go here. All right. This will find an agent for the first task in queue. Looks for a nearby idle agent. Okay, that's what it does. So it's going to look for an idle agent that is nearby. So how does it do that? Let's just do AI agent, target agent, and then we are going to say now here's what we can do. We could, in our task manager, have a list that's going to be public, of AI agents that are idle agents. All right, and so put this up here. This will basically be used for finding an agent to do a task. All right. So we're going to do a for each AI agent in our idle agents. So you see how this can be technically a little bit quicker because actually, well, so what it's going to do is no, we don't want that. We don't want this here. Nope, we do not want that there. We want to use our map sections. Like, these are chunks. So because of AI, it'll just make things a lot quicker. We don't need to loop through all the find an idle agent that's super far away. We're just going to find one that's close. So let's go to our map section. And we're going to add this here. Now if you start to, if a map section has 500 agents in it, yeah, it's going. It might. Actually, it's not going to go slow at all. Really, what we could do is, because we have this list of AI agents, we could literally just grab the first one. And this could almost be a queue as well. We'll just use it like a list for now, because maybe I might not do it this way, so let's just leave it as a list for now. Let's go to the task manager. So now we need a task. Oh, no, do we? We're going to say task is equal to current task, or sorry, task current task is equal to our user task dot enqueue no, sorry, enqueue adds it, element at, and we want to say at 0. So we're just getting the first one. We're not going to remove it yet because we need to see if we can even do this task. So AI agent, we want to loop through the AI agents in the current task dot, and this is going to be kind of long, map manager dot instance dot map creator, map, all map sections, current task dot map section ID dot idle let me go to the map section, idle agents. Why can't I get that? Let me go back here. This is a stupid game object. Alright. Map section. Current map section is equal to this dot get component map section. Okay. All right, and then in here we'll say current map section dot idle agents. Now, just in case for some reason we couldn't use one of the agents, and this might be good enough time, what I could do is say, okay, let's find the closest one. You know, find the closest one that will do this. But really, if I want to save some time, does it really matter? If the map sections aren't that large, does it really matter that the closest one didn't go to do it? I mean, not really. I mean, it's close enough. It's not like it's grabbing one that's super far away. It's just going to grab one within its range. And if there was none, then we would. So we could, instead of doing a for each, just do this. If current map section dot idle agents dot count is greater than 0. All right. Then we would do. Then we're going to say, I thought I had target agent is equal to the current agent dot uh, 0. So we take the first one if we have something. Okay. Now let's just leave this for now. Really, that wouldn't be enough. We would want to do a we go to a action like build anything. We really want this, something like this, a do loop, and if we don't find it, we want to check. I really want all of this right here. Just copy this whole thing real quick. Copy that. Let me go to my my task manager. We really want something like this. And let's start deleting some things that we don't need. Alright, so if it's greater than that. Oh, wait, let's. Let me undo that for a sec. Just put it down here. Alright. A lot of things we gotta add. Alright, so we're gonna have a bool called found target. Let's just, we don't need this, we don't need this, don't need any of that. And we're not going to do that. We're going to say found target. And this will actually go here. And this will go inside here. I think this video is kind of going longer than what I thought it would. So maybe I'll put a cut here pretty soon. Alright, so now if found target, so we need this current, let's see, what was it over here? Oh, that's the goal. We need all this. We need all that. We go here. Let me. I might delete this though. Oh, this just uses the ID. So let me do this then. I already have it. So this is where it starts. So we probably don't need this. Well, maybe we do. But instead of okay, then if not found target, I think I want that here. Alright, if checking right. Alright, let me go back to need all this. I don't know if this is making this go longer. Alright, so map section, we're going to say current map section. Fine. Oh man, I hate that I did that. No, let's just say that get component map section. All right, so we got the current map section. Dot get component map section. And this should be current map section. If found object is equal to false. Found target. So this, basically what this does is put this outside the do loop. There we go. Basically what this does is it searches in the first thing. If we find if we find a target agent, we're going to say found target. If we don't find it, so we're still false, then it's going to move to the right and check. And it's going to alternate, going to the right, going to the left, going to the right, going to the left, going to the right, to the left, and keeps going through the entire map until we get to the end and to where it doesn't find it. So this is essentially finding the closest idle agent in our chunk with idle agents. Basically, that's what it's doing. Because if idle agent is greater than the count, then we do that. All right. So then under here, if target agent sorry, I put it in the wrong spot. If target agent is equal to null, can I just say this equals null? If it does not equal null, then assign task to agent and set up the actions for the agent. All right. Now again, the job will have already found the resource that's going to need. Well, in this case, it's already going to set the target, right? All right, I'm going to put a cut in this video, and I will continue to work on this and see if we can get it kind of working. But thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time.